Good morning. I haven't watched Selina's video yet, but I do know she failed her theory test first time round. So today is my turn to go and do the theory test it's 8:10, so I've got to leave at 9:45. Now I've done zero revising, which is pretty much my method of doing everything. We'll work out what happens on the day. If I fail, I fail. It's not really that important for us at the moment because it's a year we have on our international driver's license. It's just we'd prefer to get the state ID so we could get some of the discounts. It's not worth me spending my time going through whatever this handbook that I've not opened is. So we'll go test. You'll follow me, see if I pass. But I forgot to mention, so I did manage to fix the issue with the car. I ended up getting, let's see if we can find it. So, got one of these. It's an OBD2 reader. It's a more comprehensive one than the one that I have on the ship. And it ended up being pretty much what I said. So I think I said it's either going to be an oxygen sensor or the fuel cap is loose. And it come back suggesting that there was a slight evap leak, which is usually the fuel cap. The car had been sitting outside for, I think, maybe an entire day in 35 degrees. So I think it had expanded slightly, put it into the garage, cleared the code, and we've driven the car maybe, I don't know, 100, 150 miles since then. It seems absolutely fine. If it comes up again, all I'll do is I'll buy an official BMW fuel cap or gas cap and put that on, and that should fix the issue. So nice cheap fix, and this is something I can use in the future as well. Anyway, I'm gonna have my breakfast. I'm gonna make some oats, make sure I've got all of the paperwork I need to do my theory test, and I'm gonna go and do that, and I'll take you along for the journey. Quick update on crypto. Yesterday I recorded a video explaining why we weren't buying huge amounts of crypto, but buying a lot of stable coin and then lending that out. Now, at the time, I think Bitcoin was around 45 or 46,000, and I explained that the market is so volatile and so expensive. This is not really the time to be buying crypto. It's a time to be accumulating money to buy. Little did I know, it must have been 13, 14 hours later, the market's crashed. So Bitcoin now hit 30,000. So that's a 15 grand, I think, I can't remember the exact numbers, drop. So at this point, I now have more value against that crypto. A lot of these videos that I make aren't really exciting, aren't really amazing. People tend to gravitate to the fantastical, people that know for sure Bitcoin's going to the moon, and it may well be, and all of those things, and a lot of assurity. People don't like that long-term, slow grind, being confident, buying low, selling high, waiting. It's just not sexy. But this is an example where you can now see I have the same amount of cash available. Bitcoin is now 30,000 rather than 45,000, rather than 60,000 a few weeks or a month ago. I can now buy more of that. Now, I'm not really buying Bitcoin, I'm buying other cryptos, but they've also fallen 30, 40, 50, 60% in some cases. So I hope that some people heeded some of that and now have more value to buy more crypto. The other lesson in this is buy low, sell high. Sounds ridiculous, sounds really easy, of course you do. The psychology behind investing is exactly the opposite, and you don't realize that until you get there. You will buy the hype, so you'll always buy high, and then you have fear when it's dropping down that you can't afford to lose your money, and you will sell rather than continue to buy. So all I can say on this is be careful with your investments, really understand your financial position, buy low, sell high, or even better, buy low, hold, continue to buy all the way up, and then when it drops again, continue to buy until you reach your financial goals, and then you can cash out and be rich, which is what we all want, really. And just to show you, I've started converting out my USDT, which is still 1-for-1, into tokens now. So I bought 18 dots, a polka dot, and I'm gonna buy some probably Cardano. So I'm only going to convert not a huge amount because it might bounce around for a little while. So I've taken out, I think, 900 from my lending account of USDT. I'm going to convert that over into DOT and Cardano. And then if it drops again, then I will buy. At the minute, it's bounced back up. So I think it went from about $30,000 BTC to about 35, but that's fine. And I'll just keep buying during that period. If it looks like it's going to drop again, then I'll definitely take more money out and I'll buy those. And that's pretty much how I invest, whether it's crypto or stocks and shares or homes. It's the same. Buy low. It's go time. Got all of my paperwork. my mask, my drink, my phone. Wish me luck. Although by the time you see this, I already know that I've passed or failed. This is 7 miles. It's actually right near where we were staying in the apartment. That's where we're going. So I'm hoping I pass. Obviously it'd be great because then I don't have to go through the hassle of doing it again and actually learning some stuff. But if I don't, meh. I forget there's never any traffic, so I've left way too early. I'm 20 minutes too early. I gave myself 40 minutes to do what turned out to be a 15-minute journey. I've still got that London traffic anxiety built in. Their office actually looks pretty decent. I don't know whether Selina showed you, but that's it. I cannot begin to explain how thoroughly horrible the experience of the DMV is, and I've seen the jokes endlessly on TV and online, but it is really bad. So my experience was I got there at 5 to 10, they let me in straight away, which was great. By 5 past 10 I was in the test room, and by 10:15 I was out. It took me about 6 minutes absolute maximum to do the test, and actually the system works really well. Once you achieve 80%, that's it, the test is over. There's no point you carrying on and having to calculate. So I did 20 questions out of 25, got the 80%, passed, great. They said, right, you can book straight in for your test if you want. Do you want a learner's permit? I said, no, I don't need one. Went to check and said, oh, we're fully booked. Okay, what does that mean? Oh, you have to get your learner's permit. Okay, fine, here's your number, sat outside. It was 5 past 2 at the point they called me for the next part. So I'd gone in at 10 and 5 past 2. It then took 25 minutes to do the rest of it, which is to fill in all of the forms. And the reason it took that long is because the lady got confused and thought my visa had expired, and I pointed out it says 2025, I think it was on there. She's like, oh yeah, but then I need something else. No, you've already got that, but you photocopied it and put a plain piece of paper over the top. Oh yeah, but where's your visa? You just had the visa in my oh, okay. And then she proceeded to tell me her entire 4-day vacation in the UK, which included the prices, what she ate on what day, and everything else. And then they wonder why it's taken 4 hours to do one appointment. It is horrendous. And even though I had 2 people sitting next to me, and they had already been there 3 hours, and they were actually in there before I was, and they were complaining like, this system is shocking. But if you're going to sit there and chat for half an hour about your holidays, it's going to be bad. And I get it, you want to have a little bit of rapport. It doesn't need to be as boring as just sitting there and exchanging information, but come on. So although I have passed, I had no idea it was going to take this long, and I hadn't eaten, so I just had the porridge at 8 o'clock or whatever it was. So I haven't eaten, you can't drink, and you cannot leave the building. If you leave the building, your appointment is cancelled. So you just sit there for 4 hours doing nothing. So not a good time. If you're coming here and you're going to do this, bring snacks, bring drinks, be prepared for 4+ hours to complete your appointment. Terrible, shocking, seriously. What was interesting is after about an hour of being there, this mum was saying to her son, you better pass today, really kind of stressing it to her. I thought, oh, that's quite mean. She's like, I don't want to come back here. And she was, I think she was saying to the husband or whoever, the friend, she's saying she knows that people have done 7 attempts at their knowledge test. So I think she was really stressed about that being the case with her son. He'd obviously failed maybe once or twice before. And I'm there like, oh, that's not that nice to do. But now I understand. Seriously, just pass that thing the first time, spend the 4 hours there and leave and don't have to go back. It is so bad. The building itself is actually really nice and airy. It's not stuffy like some of our buildings back home, but just the process, I don't know how they've got it so wrong. It's quite difficult to make it that bad. Then again, if you're getting confused over paperwork you've just photocopied and you can't work out 2025 is not expired, you're gonna struggle. Finally back. I was so hungry I ended up ordering 3 chicken burgers. I've already eaten 1 in the car. I've got another one there, and I might give one to Selina if she's lucky. But yeah, to finish off, that is a very painful experience, and it seems that that's fairly normal. Briefly talking to the people that are there, and I guess it's because so many people are coming into Las Vegas. I don't think there's anything you can do to avoid it. The testing process is really, really slick. The booking online, the arriving, the getting booked in, doing the test. You can do it in literally, you could probably do it in 3 minutes, really. There's only 20 questions that you have to answer. So it's difficult, because then you know that you're coming out of that into 3 or 4 additional hours of waiting after that point. And I don't know if I said it, but once I went through the process of dealing with the woman who got confused, and that was half an hour, you then have to go in queue to get your photos. Fortunately, by the time I had got there, the queue had gone down from about 6 or 7 people in the queue all day up until that point to just 2, and that only took maybe 4 or 5 minutes to get that done. Very smooth process from there, but all in all, 5 to 10 I got there, and I think 2:30 I got out. So that's it for today. Annoying day, frustrating. That part's done at least. Who knows how long it's going to take me to get my actual driving license, because I have to go and take a test, which I'm assuming, the fact they couldn't even book it in on their own system, that could be another 2, 3, 4 months. And who knows what that process is like when I actually get to that. Maybe it's another 4-hour waiting process. But either way, we'll keep you up to date and we'll take you along for the journey. But rubbish day. So it's the following day after my theory or knowledge driving test, whatever they call it here. We call it theory test, and I think they call it the knowledge stroke vision test. And I'm a lot calmer, a lot happier. So I get really, really bad when I haven't eaten, and I was not prepared for well over 4 hours of waiting and not being allowed outside. So I thought I would do a quick update that's a little bit more helpful today. The process is, once you book online and you wait your 3 months to get in, you go to the office, you walk in, and somebody will direct you to someone that will immediately give you a ticket. Which probably is very windy here. So somebody will immediately give you a ticket, and you go and sit down, and within 10 minutes, it wasn't even 10 minutes, they call you into a test room. The test room's just like a glass room and everybody can see inside. You check in, they check all of your documents like your immigration, your ID, your social security, because everything's attached to your social security here. Once you've done that, they tell you to pick a computer because it was empty. Sit down, do the test. It took me 5 to 7 minutes, and I'm sure, well, I know because I saw a lot of people was taking them a lot longer, so I guess it varies from minutes to half an hour, 40 minutes maybe. You get a random selection of 25 questions. Now, once you hit that 80% mark, or at least in my case, it passes you, and you'll see in Selina's video, which I still haven't watched, but I know how it went, it fails you as well once you are unable to achieve 80%. So I think she ended up doing 23 questions before it failed, whereas I did the 20 questions and it had passed. I then went to the counter, which is within that room. I let them know that I finished. They already have it. It comes through. They check everything. They stamp a piece of paper and say, do you want to just go for your driving test? Yes. No bookings. Fine. They didn't notify me there was going to be an additional 3.5 hour wait. They just gave me another ticket. I sat down outside again. 3.5 hours later, I went to got called to the next counter, had a chat with the lady who got very confused and also very excited that she'd been to London. Told me her entire story, and then you're sent to get your passport, your ID photo, and they say once you get the photo done, it takes about 2 weeks to come through. So when I receive the card, I will show you that. But the whole process in all, I think, was 4.5 hours approximately. If you're going to be doing this when you come here, particularly in Las Vegas, because it is really busy, come prepared with food, snacks, water. They allow you to eat, drink in there for obvious reasons. The canteen that they do have is closed, I'm guessing due to COVID, and it's really unfortunate they won't let you go outside to collect stuff. One of the other things is, if you do go missing, which a lot of people seem to, you get 2 attempts. So they call your number out twice. You then go into rotation, which means you get put back 3, 4, 5 places. They call your number out twice again, and then you're deleted out of the system for that day, and you have to rebook, and it's a rebooking in terms of 3 months. You don't get to come back that day, the next day. And I know this because one of the workers got up and shouted this out because too many people were missing their slots and it was delaying people further. So you've already been here 3 hours, you want to be here 4 hours, just come when you're called. So all in all, it's quite a arduous and painful process. I'm really glad it's out of the way, and I've now given Selina some tips, and I don't know whether it helps depending on what time you go. Maybe the afternoon, it seemed to speed up a lot more in the afternoon than in the morning. I don't know whether they have more staff or what the case was, but it was definitely quicker in the afternoon section. Bearing in mind I got there at 5 to 10 and left at, what was it, 2:30. So yeah, that last hour and a half was a lot quicker. So maybe the afternoon's better, but I can't guarantee it. So hopefully that now really does cap off the video and gives you some information of what to expect when you go for your theory, knowledge, vision test. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned, the vision test is quite hilarious. You look into this little, I don't know, it's like a box. You put your eyes on it and you can look at it however you want. So if it's easier if you close one eye and then the other, and you just read 8 numbers off of the top line, and like, yep, that's it, done. Your vision is fine. To me, that's not very, it's not a really great test, but I guess it's just to tick a box. And the other part of when you sit down, there's a lot of forms that they fill in and cross-check. And initially I was like, why are we going through all of this? But unlike the UK, they consider this like a really important ID, and they take it really seriously. So they cross-check everything a number of times, which is why it ended up taking half an hour to just get that second part of the process done before getting my photo taken, because it's considered your state ID. So they want to make sure, and if they've got a previous address on you, they'll check that you lived at that address just to make sure you are that person. Anyway, that's me done. That's the video ended for yesterday now. Thanks for watching.